We've lost Cate Blanchett. Guys, we've lost Cate Blanchett. You know her. She's announced that she's giving up on acting. Guys, she's taking a bit. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. I can't keep up the faux sorrow. Cate Blanchett is this year's Emma Watson. Is what she is. She's this year's Anne Hathaway. Is what she's doing here. You know? And these high-level, high-profile actors and actresses announce that they're leaving, announce that they've had enough. They're throwing in the towel. That's it. And the PR agents put out a statement. There's basically like a Hollywood PR version of that girl at the party who's like, no, really, I'm leaving. You know, like makes a big deal out of it. Everyone's like, just fucking go then. No, don't tempt me. I'm so leaving if this carries on. Don't push me because there's going to be a cake-shaped hole in your future if you carry on with this. All the boys at the party are like, cake-shaped hole? Like, No, not like that. Ooh. Now, there should be a segment at the Oscars every year for the actors and actresses that we lose away from the movies in situations like this. First, you have all the people that died with, you know, some sort of somber music in the background and the dates that they were born and then they passed away. And then you break, then you have a few awards, and then you come back again, and then it's like, and here's the people who said, make the most of me now, because soon I'm throwing in the towel. So make the most of me now. The supply is short for you. I'll be gone soon, so love me now while there's still time, while you still have an opportunity to love me. I like Cate Blanchett. I do. You know, I think she's a great actor. Or actress. Actor. I never know which we're doing with that now. I think she's great. She's a great performer. Right? But maybe acting is boring for her. For loads of other people, maybe it's just boring. You know, maybe being a celebrity is pretty fucking tedious, maybe. I don't know. But I'm always a bit cynical when people announce that they're quitting, like, you know, way ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't need to say that. Like, she could easily just, like, not take another movie for quite a while. You know, like Marlon Brando. Do you remember Marlon Brando? Marlon Brando was also a celebrated actor, wasn't he? Multi-award winning, much coveted by various directors. And he was like, you know, towards midlife and his later life, he was like, this is a useless and empty profession, is what he described acting as. Couldn't be arsed with it. Hated it. So he just fucked off. He just stopped making movies, right? Unless somebody came along and knocked on his door and offered him an absolute gangload of cash. And then he would be like, it's all right. How many days is it? 4 days work, is it? All right, I'll do a big comeback for that shit. Like, I remember when Michael Jackson released the You Rock My World single off the Invincible album. And it was written up in the press like, oh, it's, you know, a testament to how much of a megastar Michael Jackson is and how important this album is that somebody is heralded, has celebrated as Marlon fucking Brando has gotten involved in the music video. He must really rate him. He's actually a fan of Mike. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, how? And then, like, later on, it turned out he'd paid Marlon Brando something like $15 million to just sit in a chair and pretend to be the Godfather. Again, he's like, yeah, can you just look like a sort of mafioso guy? Can you just for a bit? We'll just film it. Yeah, here's the check. Brando's like, all right. Hey, that was a hard day's work. I'm off for a pie. So maybe, I don't know, maybe she feels a bit like him. Maybe it's an empty and useless profession to Cate Blanchett. But the thing that I like to do with these sorts of situations, whenever a celebrity announces very high profile that they're quitting That's it, guys. No more of me. I like to, and you can't do this immediately, right? You have to wait a period of time. But what I like to do is check back in on them like a couple of years later, or like, spool forward from when they originally announced the retirement. Because if we park Cate Blanchett for a minute and Emma Watson, both of whom have also announced they were retiring and subsequently ended up, remaining in popular culture in some capacity. Anne Hathaway of the Devil Wears Prada fame. Anne Hathaway checked out, right? And I remember seeing stuff about it in like Vanity Fair or like The Guardian and, sort of arts magazines or whatever. And I remember she said that it was, or rather the reporter said it was because she wanted to start a family. She wanted to raise a family and focus on that. And, obviously that's great. But then you spool forward like a couple of years. And you just imagine the sort of situation they're in. And spool forward a couple of years, like 2 or 3 years after she's made that decision. And now she's got the family. Now she's got the kids who are like screaming and breaking shit and kicking her and shitting themselves and throwing tantrums every 2 minutes. Like, I like to imagine Anne Hathaway getting rudely awoken by the toddler for the 4th tantrum that morning and going like, no, I can't take it. Yes, I wanted to focus on the most important job in the world, on being a mom. I wanted to focus on raising my kids. But you know what? I'll take useless and empty profession for a little bit. Just for a bit. Just for a little vacation. A little break. I'll go back to work. I mean, fuck your... I don't know if I can accommodate part-time mums and flexible working. It's like nobody works harder or salivates more at the prospect of just leaving their kids and singing and dancing their way into the office or the movie set. Nobody looks forward to work more than parents, I promise you. Anyway, so it's kind of fun to look at that. But I was surprised to see that she hasn't gone back on the booze either. Because did I mention that she's given up booze? Like she's done it all sober? The early years of parenthood sober? She was giving up the bottle? Like that would have been funnier, to be honest. Not to make light of people's struggles with alcohol. If you can't control your intake, obviously you should go and speak to somebody about that, try and get some help. But there is something funny about somebody like Anne Hathaway saying on record in The Guardian, like saying, I'm giving up booze while I have young children because I want to be there and focused and present for them and have all of the magazines celebrate it, like before the fact. And then we smash cut to 6 months in. There'll be a paparazzi snap of Anne Hathaway on an off night getting skyballed in a dive bar. Jacked out on bourbon, pouring 2 more for herself at the bar. She'll be like, make the most of me now, because I'll be gone soon.